So let's stay on that story of Bangladesh's Prime Minister, who says the country held free and fair elections, dismissing the opposition's criticism of Sunday's polls as she celebrated.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम। तो कैसे हैं आप लोग? उम्मीद करता हूं आप सब खैरियत से होंगे। मैं हूं जुनेद अली और आप देख रहे हैं जुनेद अली ऑफिशियल। बात करेंगे इंटरनेशनल मीडिया की। इंटरनेशनली मीडिया जो है वो बीएनपी को सपोर्ट कर रहा है, ऑपोजिशन को सपोर्ट कर रहा है कि बांग्लादेश के अंदर जो हालात बने, इलेक्शन हुए और उसके बाद बांग्लादेश की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनी शेख हसीना वाजद, तो इस इलेक्शन के ऊपर भी उंगलियां उठाई जा रही हैं। ऐसा कई मीडिया चैनल्स हैं जिसमें इंटरनेशनल मीडिया हो, अमेरिका हो, कनाडा हो, उन्होंने मायूसी का इजहार किया कि बांग्लादेश के अंदर जो इलेक्शन हुए हैं ये बिल्कुल भी ठीक नहीं हुए। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया का क्या कहना है बांग्लादेश के इलेक्शन को लेकर, तो आज इसी हवाले से वीडियो है। वीडियो की तरफ बढ़ने से पहले आप दोस्तों से गुजारिश है, अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, साथ बने बेल आइकन को भी दबाएं ताकि आपको वीडियो का नोटिफिकेशन सबसे पहले मिलता रहे। चलें वीडियो शुरू करते हैं जी। 1 2 3 go.
Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina wins a fourth term in power unopposed after an election boycotted by the opposition. So let's stay on that story of Bangladesh's Prime Minister, who says the country held free and fair elections, dismissing the opposition's criticism of Sunday's polls as she celebrated her win. Sheikh Hasina secured her fourth term in power after yesterday's vote, making her the country's longest-serving prime minister since its independence. Now, the opposition Bangladesh National Party boycotted the election after its demands for a neutral authority were ignored. They staged protests and called the vote a sham, accusing Ms. Hasina of undermining democracy. In response, the Prime Minister said that the absence of one party in the election does not mean democracy is absent. She also branded the BNP a terrorist organization. The Election Commission said Ms. Hasina's ruling Awami League party had won 223 out of 229 seats. The party faced almost no effective rivals. She has pledged to tackle poverty and boost the country's economic growth. But she faces an uphill battle as Bangladesh continues to grapple with high inflation.
আমরা চাইতেছি নিত্যপণ্যের এবং দেশের জিনিসপত্রের দাম কমানো, যাতে আমাদের গরিব মানুষের ক্রয় ক্ষমতার ভিতরে থাকে, সেটাই আমরা চাই। কোনো গ্যাঞ্জাম মারামারি বা কোনো হানাহানি এই ধরনের যাতে কোনো সমস্যা না হয়, আমরা শান্তি চাই।
For more, Priyata Brajabasi reports live to us from New Delhi. Priyata, we saw a very robust opposition from Sheikh Hasina just moments ago on those allegations that the elections were undemocratic and could give rise to a one-party rule in the country.
Absolutely. These elections in Bangladesh are being seen as one of the most controversial elections to have been held in the country since its inception. The main opposition party, the BNP or the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, is calling these elections a sham. They've called it undemocratic. They've called the results a sham as well because of the lack of opposition's participation in this entire election process. No member of the BNP participated or was a part of these elections. They boycotted these elections, and it is because of that that Sheikh Hasina's Awami League has won an overwhelming majority in Bangladesh's parliamentary elections. Like you rightly pointed out, the latest reports from Bangladesh suggest that the party has won about 220 seats, and about 50 independent candidates have also won in these elections. Now, this is another aspect that opposition and critics are coming down heavily on the government upon. They're saying that these candidates were called independent. However, they are all allies and supporters of the Awami League as well. Now, another aspect that is creating controversy in Bangladesh is the numbers of the voter turnout. The Election Commission says that there was a 40% voter turnout in Bangladesh on Sunday. In comparison, there was about 80% in the last elections. But once again, the BNP is saying that these numbers have been inflated by the Election Commission because they had called for a strike on Saturday, a day before the polls were held. And they say that there is no way that there was a 40% turnout that happened on Sunday during the polls. Now, of course, Sheikh Hasina has called all of these allegations baseless. She has refuted all of these allegations. She said that the elections were fair, that were conducted in Bangladesh. And in fact, she's also called upon her party and her supporters to not celebrate this overwhelming success that has happened in Bangladesh for the Awami League.
So what's next, though, for Hasina's party, as well as Bangladesh as a whole, because its economy is struggling, inflation is rising, as well as cost of living?
Absolutely. However, her supporters say that Sheikh Hasina, because of her 4 consecutive terms, has been able to bring some amount of political and economic stability in Bangladesh. Of course, Bangladesh's economy has struggled over the last few decades. It was one of the poorest countries in Asia. However, last year's numbers suggest that Bangladesh's GDP was higher than India's as well. And her supporters say that she has been able to bring some amount of stability. However, more and more instances, such incidents where her government is coming into question because there are instances of crackdown against anti-government voices. Her government is seeing a lot of criticism, not just in the country, but from the West as well. Now, the future of her party is also something that is being it is coming into question, because when her term ends, she will be 81 years old, and without any successor in sight, political analysts are questioning who will succeed her and what will be the future.
तो जी व्यूवर, ये थी वीडियो और आपने देखा कि इल्ज़ामात लगाए जा रहे हैं कि बांग्लादेश के अंदर ऑपोजिशन ने बाइकआउट क्यों कर दिया। ऑपोजिशन ने बाइकआउट इसलिए किया कि बांग्लादेश की प्राइम मिनिस्टर के ओहदे से हटकर शेख हसीना वाजिद को ये इलेक्शन करवाने चाहिए। बांग्लादेश के अंदर ऑपोजिशन का ये कहना था कि हमारे ऊपर जो इंतकामी कार्रवाइयाँ की गई हैं इनको ख़त्म करना चाहिए और हमें आज़ादाना तौर पे इलेक्शन में हिस्सा लेने दिया जाए, और साथ ही साथ बांग्लादेश की प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो शेख हसीना वाजिद हैं इनको रिजाइन करना चाहिए अपने ओहदे से, और उसके बाद एक निगरान सेटअप आना चाहिए जैसा पाकिस्तान में आया है, तो उसके बाद इलेक्शन हो ताकि शेख हसीना वाजिद हुकूमत में रहकर, पावर में रहकर इसका गलत इस्तेमाल ना करें। लेकिन हमने देखा कि रूल ही चेंज कर दिया गया बांग्लादेश में, और उसके बाद जो हुआ आपने देखा कि बीएनपी ने इस बाइकआउट के अंदर ये मुतालबे रखे थे कि बाइकआउट नहीं करेंगे, आप ये चीज़ें करें, लेकिन ये चीज़ें हुई नहीं। फिर बीएनपी ने बाइकआउट कर दिया। अब देखें तो हर तरफ इसके ऊपर तनकीद हो रही है। डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर इस तरह के इलेक्शन नहीं होते। तो ये थी आज की वीडियो। आप इस वीडियो के बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हैं ज़रूर कमेंट करके हमें बताइएगा। बहुत शुक्रिया।